You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I am going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Well, hello, brilliant soul. Today, I want to share with you a story of patience, perseverance, and the quiet strength it takes to believe in something even when others don't. It's a story that carries a profound lesson about growth, progress, and trusting the process. As you listen, I invite you to imagine yourself in the shoes of the young boy who is at the center of this tale. His journey is one of self-discovery, quiet perseverance, and committed patience. So get comfortable, settle in, and let's travel to a peaceful village where a young boy has a dream of growing something extraordinary. Once upon a time, in a village tucked into the green hills, there lived a young boy named Lee. Lee had always been fascinated by trees, their towering trunks, their graceful branches that reach towards the sky, and their roots that delve so deep into the earth, feeding them with strength and nourishment. He dreamed of growing a tree that would stand tall for all to see, a tree that would stand the test of time. Lee got some seeds and eagerly planted them, envisioning his future tree. He had images of climbing it, filling his mind. Perhaps he would bring his friends to picnic and play at the base of his special tree. Lee could not wait for his tree to grow. He planted the seed, watered it every day, and cared for it with all of his heart. The days turned to weeks, and the weeks turned to months, but there was still no sign of life. The ground where Lee had planted the seed remained as it was, barren and unyielding. No sprout, no shoot, nothing at all. As the seasons changed, Lee's tree still lay hidden beneath the soil. Lee, however, continued to care for the earth. He gave it water, he whispered to it his hopes, and he believed that in time, his special tree would rise. But not everyone shared Lee's faith. As the months passed, Lee's friends and family began to notice his persistence. They watched as he continued to care for his tree, as he tended to the soil with devotion, and as he waited patiently for something to appear. They couldn't understand why he kept at it year after year when there was no visible sign of progress. "Why do you waste your time on that seed?" his neighbor asked one afternoon, leaning over the fence. "You've watered it for so long and still there's nothing. It's hopeless." Lee smiled gently, his heart steady. "I believe in it," he replied. "I believe that it will grow when the time is right." But his neighbor shook his head. "You're fooling yourself. Look at your garden, at all of the other plants. They're growing beautifully. But that tree is just a waste of time." And with that, his neighbor walked away, leaving Lee standing by the barren patch of earth. It stung, but Lee didn't let it shake him. He knew that he couldn't rush nature. He couldn't force his special tree to grow. He had to trust the process. As the years passed, Lee's faith remained steadfast. Every morning, he would rise before the sun, walk to the patch of earth where he planted his seed, and tended to it. Still nothing. No sign of the tree's growth, no shoots, no green, just the same bare patch of soil. But even as he continued to water and care for his seed, there was another force at work. Lee's neighbor, who had once dismissed the tree as a fruitless endeavor, began to worry that Lee was wasting his time. And so Lee's neighbor began to dig at the spot where Lee had planted his tree. He thought that if he dug it up and checked on it, he could discover what was wrong. Perhaps the soil was too dry or the seed was damaged. Lee returned to his tree's patch and found the soil disturbed. His neighbor had tried to dig up the seed over and over again, trying to fix what wasn't broken. One afternoon, after years of tending to the tree, Lee stood by the patch of soil, once again finding it disturbed. His neighbor had dug up the seed yet again, and Lee felt a deep pang of frustration. His patience was wearing thin. "Why must you keep doing this?" he asked his neighbor, his voice quiet but firm. "I just want to help," his neighbor exclaimed, feeling accused. "I think there's something wrong with it. It hasn't grown for years. What if it's never going to grow? What if it's just a bad seed?" Lee paused for a moment, his gaze softening. He could see the concern in his neighbor's eyes, the well-meaning but misguided attempts to fix something that didn't need fixing. Lee understood that his neighbor's resistance came from a place of love, of wanting to see results, of wanting to help, but it was misguided. "Look," Lee said, his voice steady and calm, "my special tree is growing. Even though we can't see it every day, every season, I know the roots are strengthening. It's not about rushing the process. It's about trusting that the seed will grow, and it's currently growing beneath the surface in its own time. You can't rush it, and you can't dig it up in order to speed up the process. All we can do is give it time, water, and faith." His neighbor looked at him, still unsure but willing to listen. Several months later, after years and years of tending to his seed, something miraculous happened. One day, as Lee walked toward the patch of earth, he saw a small green shoot breaking through the soil. He bent down, his heart racing with excitement. Slowly, the shoot grew taller and then taller still until over the course of a few weeks, the bamboo grew up, 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 reaching toward the sky. Lee smiled, tears welling in his eyes. He had known all along that it was coming, that his special tree was growing in its own time. But now, to see it for himself, to witness the extraordinary growth after all of those years of patience and faith, was a moment of pure magic. Lee's special tree, once hidden beneath the earth, now stood tall and proud, just as it was meant to. And as the bamboo stretched toward the heavens, Lee realized something profound. It was not the immediate results that mattered. It was the trust, the patience, and the faith in the process that had brought him here. In this tale, Lee's tree teaches us a powerful lesson about patience and perseverance. How many times in our own lives do we dig up our seeds, impatient for the results? How many times do we look at our progress and doubt ourselves, questioning whether we're on the right path? How often do we try to force things to happen only to disrupt the natural flow and unfolding of life? Just like the bamboo, we too have our own process of growth. It might not always be visible, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Every moment you spend nurturing your dreams, every effort you put into your growth is laying the foundation for something even greater, and it's compounding. Don't let the impatience of others or even your own doubts make you question the process. Trust that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your own version of success. Just like Lee's tree, you will rise, when the time is right. And when you do, the growth will be nothing short of magnificent. So the invitation here is this: trust your process. Don't rush. Don't dig up your seeds in impatience. Allow the roots of your dreams to grow deep and strong, knowing that the growth will come when the time is right. Every small step, every moment of faith is building toward something far greater than you can see right now. You, like the bamboo, are growing in ways you can't even imagine. So trust the process and know that you will rise and thrive. Until next time.